How are you? So, who wants to see the pieces I made recently? I obviously did a lot of embroidery because that's what I've been selling the most and I like doing a lot. But now summer is coming and I'm making summer stuff as well, like some upcycled. I made a very weird little collection that I started in Brazil and I finished it here. I want to show you. It's totally like strange. So I want to show you, some of the designs and some of the embroideries and all the pieces. All right. So first, this is the one that I did a couple days ago. And so the flowers, this is actually a design from my teacher, my embroidery teacher. And then I added my girl there. Look, it's very colorful. Then there's one that I bet you want to see because there's the design I posted on stories the other day. This is a new design I also used. So there's like embroidery on this green shirt with red rayon thread. Look, it's fun. I have marked this weekend, that's why I have all the designs. So this one is that one that I posted the embroidery on Instagram on stories. And a lot of people liked it, and I want to show you the results. I really like the shirt. Look, and look at the new embroidery. So cool, right? This shirt is like wide. I actually bought the shirt for myself, and then I was like, I want to embroider on some like khaki colored, and I ended up doing this. So I'm gonna price it high. If it doesn't sell, I'm gonna keep it. One thing is that when I drew this, it was a collage thing I did, and it was like mirrored, right? But then I was lazy to use my light box, and I just copied like that. And so, but I kind of like the original way better, which the plant has to be on this side. But that's it. I'm really happy with this. I want to make it bigger. All right, so then that one that is like Cutwork, which I love doing. It really makes me happy when I finish it. But during the process, it's really hard because you basically have to stitch on nothing and the machine doesn't like it, But I really like to do this on linen. I think it's very beautiful. This one is that, I remember the challenge that we did, that a lot of us made the puff sleeve shirt. I used sort of that design, not really completely, because that one we cut the yoke and all. But so I cropped it. It was like a very large shirt, and I just took the sleeve and made puff sleeves with the little notch in the back and added the people's collar, which I embroidered the collar in São Paulo. Remember, if you've been following me, and this face was like upside down, so I changed a little bit and stitched over it, and that's the result. I like this one. I hope somebody really cool gets it. Then this one is not ironed yet, so don't look. But the alphabet, which is it's like a sampler, right? It's a traditional thing for embroidery, like they would do samplers. And I just thought, why not do samplers on shirts? And I did another kind of lettering, but then I decided this time to do this thicker one because the shirt has like a body. So I'm going to iron it very nice, put my tag. It's cotton. I think that's a cool piece for like there's a woman who bought it for me. She's like a writer, and I thought that was perfect. I made the shirt thinking of like graphic designers, writers, people who work with the word, or whoever, people who like to read. That would be also a cool gift for, right? This one I'm excited about because it was like a dream that I had. I dreamed of horses on designs. And I never really even drew a horse or anything. One thing that really, really I love and I never seen is wild horses. I think it's like the most amazing nature thing. Imagine you are in nature and then you just see a bunch of horses. They're such big animals. So then I made the horses shirt to celebrate. Look. And I had this, it was all, I like to experiment with things. So I went and used this thread the color is called variegated thread. So then I placed on the silk shirt. The only thing is like one of them have like a face. I don't like it much. I might fix it. But as a test, I think it's cool. And next time I might do I'm going to take it to the market, see how people like it. If they like it, I'll do different colors and all, and maybe change the design a little bit. But I'm very happy with the results in terms of it's very soft. People tend to like softer clothes, like light stuff. So I'm happy about that. This one is my classic, those faces that I like to draw. This shirt always sells. This one I made way bigger. Look how right? It's inspired by Twilight Zone. This I made like a panel once, but just to test, and people love the design, so I started to place on shirts. And I also have to change the tag, but this is it. I really like this one. It's been selling really well, and it's silver thread. Look, and so sometimes I do golden or silver. Now, let's see. Okay, the last embroidery, and then I'll show the crazy ones. This one, look, this is my own drawing I did. I was at my mom's house a couple years ago, and I embroidered, but it's just a lot of work and a lot of thread as well, because look, it's all full embroidery. I just love it, but it can be, it's going to be more pricey because the time that it takes me and the amount of material. So now are you ready for the crazy one? I don't know if last year, if you've been following me, a couple years ago, I was in São Paulo, and I went to a church sale. They do like a couple times a month or something, and it's very cheap. Like the stuff is very affordable. There's a part that's not that much, but there's a part that was like very cheap. And I saw a lot of like drawings and things, and like stencils. And it was a pile. It was on a table. And then I started to look through it, and it's like a collection of stencils this woman had. Somebody had it, right? I suppose it was a woman. And so then I started to recognize the designs that they use. It's a traditional thing in Brazil that they do that paint with the stencils on like tea towels, kitchen towels and things like that. And it's kind of tacky and strange. So I went and bought the whole collection. It's at my mom's house. I brought some here with me, but like while I was at my mom's house this past January, I started to try. I never tried. I bought 2 years ago and saved it. I was just looking through. It's like there was like a bunch of them. And then in January, I started to try them and paint. And so in São Paulo, you can also buy like knit, t-shirt knit by the yard. So I bought some knit and started to paint with the stencils just to test, and I kind of like the style. I'm not sure how, I haven't showed anyone yet, so you're the first one to see. I started to make t-shirts. Then when I got here, I made the t-shirts. Look, it's a very weird design. So look at this one. I know this one is illegal, I'm not supposed to do it, but there was a stencil there, and it's old because I think this woman had been collecting those stencils forever. And I just thought this as like a tropical piece would be cool, right? And you see that she does like the finishing with like the white and dark. Have you seen this ever? If you have, please leave a comment and let me know, because I never seen that kind of stuff outside of my country. And I just thought it was really cool to do that. Let's see how my customers are gonna like it, right? But so then what I did is I drew on it, I painted with the stencils. I just painted on fabric. When I got to New York, I washed it and dried in the dryer, because in Brazil they usually don't use dryer, so the shrinkage is like less. So I wanted to shrink as much as possible, and then I cut the fabric and made the t-shirts. I still have to put my tags too, but it's all like made, I used my serger. I draft the pattern myself. I even have that in my community, we have that class. And so, there's more that I still have to make the t-shirts. But look, this one is a cute one that, that tradition. When I was a kid, we had those like letters that I collected a bunch, paper for letters. And this kind of design was on them, and I like. This one I didn't do the finishing with the white and dark paint because I thought this was enough. But it's so much fun to make this. And then I had a white shirt there, and I thought, why not make on a white shirt? And that's the craziest one, look. And it's a cat, and I showed Rob, and he's like, oh, those are pears. They're not pears, they're cashew fruits, because in Brazil it's very common, all right? And look, the bird, fun, right? So yeah, that's mostly what I have, and then I made the framed embroidery, and I made patchwork, that I'm like framing patchworks that I do. But this thing, I don't think it's gonna be time enough for me to have it this Sunday. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. And I just wanted to show you that I'm not posting much, but I've been working, all right? I hope you like it. Please leave a comment, give a like, and share with your friends. See you next time.